Some people like to talk about it. Some people don't like to talk about it. But particularly at moments of turbulence, understanding basic relationships with money is critical. And the key thing is to break money into smaller pieces that you can understand, but realize that all of them, the value of a stock or the value of real estate, they're constantly shifting. And the only way to get comfortable with the volatility, for me, is to understand why the prices keep shifting.
그럼 오늘 이야기 듣고 나면 부자가 될 수 있는 걸까요?
I think it is possible to become rich.
신과 대화 시간입니다. 우리는 돈을 벌고 싶죠?
예.
근데 이 돈이 갖고 있는 다양한 특성을 고려하지 않고 이 돈을 벌고 싶다는 생각만 하면 현실적으로 도움이 안 됩니다.
아, 그렇긴 한데
네.
저는 요즘에 그 돈을 번다, 투자를 한다라 그랬을 때 한국신보다는 좀 미국신을 좀 만나고 싶습니다.
미국신?
네. 요즘에 밤마다 그냥 미국에서 벌어지는 일들 때문에 전 세계 자본시장이 좀 움직이고 있기 때문에 좀 미국신을 오늘 한번 모셔볼까
그래서
하고 있습니다.
이 금융 전문 기자로도 활동을 하시고 그리고 우리나라 분들에게 매우 잘 알려진 세계 최고의 헤지 펀드 가운데 하나인 브릿지워터에서 레이 달리오와 함께 또 일을 하신 경험도 있는 저자분을 오늘 한번 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 부의 전략 수업을 쓰신 폴 포돌스키 작가님을 만나 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
여보세요.
네, 작가님, 그 간단하게 한국 시청자들에게 자기소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
Oh, sure. So first of all, thank you for having me on your show. My name is Paul Podolsky. I am the author of The Uncomfortable Truth About Money. I am the founder and the chief investment officer of K Capital. And for many years, I worked at Bridgewater Associates. And I have a lot of affection for Korea. I've been there a number of times. I find the people fascinating, the history fascinating, and I love Korean food.
예, 근데 저희는 사실 요즘에 그 잠을 잘 못 잡니다. 밤마다 미국에서 나오는 뉴스 때문에 자본시장이 워낙 출렁출렁하다 보니까 미국에서 나오는 뉴스 진짜 그 말 한마디 한마디까지 좀 신경 쓰고 있거든요. 그리고 미국 시장도 지금 변동성이 굉장히 큰 걸로 알고 있는데 그 현지 분위기는 좀 어떻습니까?
You're right. This is a very risky time and one where wealth is extremely unstable. And it's precisely the type of environment that I was thinking about when I wrote The Uncomfortable Truth About Money, which is that money is something that affects all of us. Some people like to talk about it. Some people don't like to talk about it. But particularly at moments of turbulence, understanding basic relationships with money is critical.
그러면은 그 최근 이렇게 변동성이 커진 상황에 비추어 봤을 때 그 작가님께서 생각하고 계시는 사람들이 지금 가장 오해하고 있는 뭐 돈에 대한 불편한 진실은 무엇이라고 생각하실까요?
That it's stable. This is the comment that money is stable. So every form of money, a stock, which is an ownership in a company, bond, which is a loan, real estate, currency, I think we wish that it was all stable, but the reality is that it's unstable, and that when we get moments of turbulence like we're getting right now, that becomes very clear.
안정적이다라는 느낌이 이게 뭘까? 그러니까 돈을 갖고 싶다. 뭐 이런 느낌은 제가 분명히 드는데 돈이 안정적이다, 혹시는 불안정하다, 이런 것이 돈에 대한 개념에서 왜 중요할까요? 이게 부의 전략 수업의 원 제목을 보면은 그 돈에 대한 불편한 진실이라는 게 또 미국 제목이란 말이에요. 그래서 이게 돈이 불안정하다라는 게 왜 불편한 진실일까요?
We all want it because money provides security, but I think it's important to have an accurate understanding of money the same way you might have an accurate understanding of basic first aid or nutrition, even if you're not a medical expert or you're not a nutritionist. And the key thing is to break money into smaller pieces that you can understand, but realize that all of them, the value of a stock or the value of real estate, they're constantly shifting. And the only way to get comfortable with the volatility, for me, is to understand why the prices keep shifting.
그럼 오늘 이야기 듣고 나면 부자가 될 수 있는 걸까요?
I think it is possible to become rich, but you need to study very carefully how the system works and break the components of being rich into different elements. So first of all is, how do you generate income? That relates to how the economy is changing and what industries generate income over time. What was profitable 30 years ago will not be profitable now, and it might not be profitable in 30 years. So one part of this is understanding income. And then there's another key issue to being rich, which is understanding how to invest. It's very hard to earn money in the first place. And then the second thing is how do you save money? For instance, many of the companies that I've worked with over my career no longer exist or do not exist in the same health that they once were. This is actually normal. So how you're generating your income is shifting all the time. And then the investments that were safe 5 years ago are very different than the investments that are safe today.
근데 이거는 조금 그 전문적인 질문이 될 수도 있을 것 같은데, 그 돈이 가지는 역할이라든지 그 부분에 대해서 좀 얘기를 해주셔가지고, 요즘에 그 미국 시장이나 이제 트럼프 대통령의 행보를 보게 되면은 그 달러 부채에 대한 걱정들을 좀 많이 하게 되는 것 같아요. 그래가지고 우리가 생각했던 그 돈, 그리고 기축통화로서의 달러가 가지고 있는 역할, 그것도 이렇게 돈의 역할의 변화가 좀 생길 거라고 보시나요?
I do. I think that we're in the very early stages of the popping of a dollar bubble. So there's been a huge inflow of foreign capital to the United States over time, much of it from Asia. And now you see a very substantial shift in U.S. policy that is protectionist and is also questioning the security alliances that the U.S. has maintained for 80 years, on top of which U.S. stocks are very expensive. So this combination of forces is leading to a change in the dollar's value that I think can continue.
우리나라에도 몇 차례 와보셨으면 아셨겠지만 우리나라 분들은 미국 주식을 굉장히 좋아하거든요.
정말 많이 하시죠.
많이 투자를 하고 있습니다. 근데 방금 말씀하셨던 것처럼 뭔가 달러의 위상 자체가 변화하고 있다면 앞으로 우리가 뭐 부를 축적하는 방법이 기존의 달러 자산이 아닌 좀 다른 자산에서 부를 축적해야 된다거나 이런 변화의 움직임에 대해서도 보고 계시나요?
Yes, it is. I think it's a meaningful shift that's going on in the world, and if I were a Korean investor, I would be considering diversifying my savings away from the United States.
와, 이게 좀 미국에 계신 분이 미국 시장을 좀 피해봐야 되겠다는 얘기가 하니까 좀 되게 무섭거든요.
네.
근데 사실 지금같이 경제적인 불확실성이 커지면은 개인 투자자들은 와 진짜 내가 딱 본전만 나오면은 이 시장 떠나고 싶다 막 이런 생각들도 많이 하게 되는데 이렇게 좀 불확실성이 커져 있는 시장에서 그 개인들은 좀 어떤 투자 원칙을 가지고 돈을 관리하는 게 좋을까요?
That's a big question. But first thing is keep it simple. Second thing is never invest in anything that you don't understand. And the third thing is break the investment into parts that you can understand. So, for instance, for a Korean investor investing in U.S. stocks, there's three moving parts to their investment. There's the currency, the exchange rate of the dollar against the won. There is the price at which they're paying earnings, for, the PE, and then there's the earnings themselves. And you can think about all of those things 6 months or 12 months forward. This, from a Korean investor's perspective, maybe the stock market does well, but if the dollar declines a lot, then they're running into a problem. Or the currency could remain stable, but the price-earnings ratios and the earnings might fall a lot. So the key thing is when you're investing is to understand what's in the investments. And it's not that complicated to understand. In the book, I wrote down the basic moving parts in a stock, in bonds, in real estate, so that people could understand that if they don't already.
결국은 우리나라에서 그렇게 미국 주식 좋아한다고는 하는데 만약에 주가가 오르더라도 달러 가치가 떨어지게 되면은 그 우리나라 입장에서는 크게 수익을 못 볼 가능성도 있기 때문에 그거 너무 맹목적으로 달려들지 말라라는 정도의 이야기로 들리는데 혹시 그렇게 이해도 될까요?
Correct. Don't blindly invest in anything because it and not only could the dollar go down, but it's also true that earnings could go down if the economy is weakening as a result of protection. So when I started investing, I really didn't know anything in my 20s, and I gradually learned. But the important thing for Korean investors to know is that it can be learned. It's not that complicated. And just stick with those principles. Don't invest in anything that you don't understand. And to understand, break a stock or a bond or real estate into its moving parts. A bond, for instance, is just a loan. Like a government bond is loaning money to the government. And just like a stock has the price-earnings ratio and the earnings, just 2 parts to it, a bond also has 2 parts to it. It has what the yield, what the real return is, and an expectation of inflation. That's it. And so you could understand a bond in terms of those moving parts and then begin to think about if you're lending money to the government, is it an attractive time? In other words, you're buying a bond. It is an attractive time to do that or not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
그러면 결국 우리는 이제 힘의 균형이 어디로 변화하는지, 그러니까 돈의 흐름이 어디로 쏠리는지를 좀 고려를 해서 그쪽에 맞는 투자를 해야 될 것 같은데 현재 폴 포도스키 작가님께서 생각하시는 돈의 흐름은 어느 쪽으로 보이세요?
I think that the locus of power is different than the money flow, but basically many countries, Korea among them, have been exporting a huge amount of their savings to the United States. And what this means is if Korea and Japan and Europe just export slightly less of their savings to the United States, the dollar will go down. So I think the flow of money is staying at home and it's less global flows of capital. So those places that are big savers will see their currencies go up. And those people that are big borrowers will see their currencies go down. It doesn't always work like that, but it's working like that right now, I believe. In terms of power, global power is shifting now. And this is why it's such a dangerous time right now. We have hot wars in Europe and in the Middle East. And much of these hot wars have to do with a question of who is going to be the great power. The enormous risk to the world, which I hope does not happen, is that there was a hot war in Asia as well.
저희도 좀 말씀 주신 것처럼 예를 들어서 중국이 대만을 공격을 한다거나 이런 아시아의 충격이 오면은 정말 큰일이 날 것 같기는 해요. 근데 우리가 또 이제 생각해 보는 게 뉴스들은 이렇게 보는데 아까 말씀해 주셨을 때 아는 분야에 투자를 하면 좋다. 뭐 주식은 이렇게 보면 좋고 채권은 이렇게 보면 좋다. 뭐 이런 얘기를 좀 해주셨었는데 아는다는 게 어떤 건지를 잘 모르겠거든요. 그러니까 뭘 알아야 된다라고 얘기를 하시는 건지 우리가 주식은 주식이 뭔지 알고 채권은 채권이 뭔지를 알겠는데 아까 잠깐 말씀해 주셨던 뭐 나라의 돈을 빌려줘야 되는 타이밍은 언제인가 이런 거를 조금 더 이렇게 좀 쉽게 설명을 해주시면 좀 어떻게 좀 우리가 이해를 하면 될까요?
So, in terms of understanding the moving parts, for instance, and I explained this in the book, but for instance, the first time that I bought real estate, I didn't understand how real estate works. Real estate is also basically just like a bond. It's not something separate. So if, for instance, interest rates fall and it's cheaper to borrow, real estate prices generally rise, just like a bond. And if interest rates rise because it gets more expensive to borrow, real estate prices generally fall. And so when I was buying my first house for my family, I thought that real estate was something totally separate from what anything else I was. But as I understood it with time, you could begin to see that it was actually very similar. And then that helps let you know when it's a good time or a bad time to buy real estate. A lot of it has to do with what interest rates there are. When is it a good time to lend to the government? It's a good time to buy a bond and lend to the government, and there's different types of bonds, when the interest rates are high, which means they're discounting very strong growth. But growth is going to be weak. When you get those differences between high interest rates but weak growth, that's generally a very good time to buy government bonds.
근데 그렇게 설명해 주시니까 이게 결국은 채권을 언제 사는 게 좋으냐라 그러면은 이제 금리 내리는 타이밍에 하면 좋다 그러면 채권 가격 오를 것 같으면 사라는 얘기신 것 같고 사실 금리가 내려가게 되면은 이제 그 시중에 돈이 더 많이 풀리니까 자산 가치가 좀 올라갈 거다 그러니까 결국은 그 금리가 내리는 타이밍에 자산에 투자하라는 얘기이신 것 같은데 근데 우리가 이제 금리를 예상하기가
그 연준이 할 수 있는 거 아닙니까?
굉장히 어렵잖아요. 그러면은 결국은 전반적인 통화량을 연준이 조절하는 건데 우리가 어떻게 그거를 이제 뭐 공부를 어떤 식으로 해야 될까요? 이걸 뭐 눈 감고 맞출 수 있는 건 아니니까 공부를 좀 어떤 식으로 해야 되는지 좀 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
Well, it depends how you want to invest. There's different ways of investing, and you have to find the way that is right for you. If you're very busy running the program that you're running, you don't have time to think about what the Fed is going to do. So then you just need to have a very diversified portfolio. A, you need to get the highest income you can. B, you need to spend less than you earn. And C, you need to invest in a very diversified portfolio globally. Don't put it all in the United States. Spread it among stocks and bonds and make sure it's global. That's for most people what the best thing to do is. But for people who are interested in trying to time when to buy a stock or a bond, it's very difficult to do because if you're good at it, it's very profitable. So it's very competitive.
사실 그 말씀하시는 게 되게 와닿긴 한데 또 이렇게 또 투자를 해서 수익을 많이 올리고 싶은 분들이 듣기에는 뭔가 이렇게 좀 추상적이다라는 생각이 들기도 하거든요. 혹시 이런 이야기들을 다른 그 어떤 개인 투자자분들에게 얘기를 하셨을 때 어떤 반응들을 좀 보이시던가요?
Since publishing the book, so the fund I run, K Capital, it's for institutional investors. It's not for individuals. So I don't give advice to individuals. But people who have read the book, what they tell me is it helped them understand how money works. Because rather than be a textbook, which is kind of hard to read, it conveys the lessons I learned about money as I learned them. And that way it makes these lessons much simpler to understand and easier to understand. And so the response I've gotten from people who've read the book is it helped make a topic that's not always so interesting, both interesting and understandable.
책을 보신 분들은 그 내용을 아실 텐데 아직 책을 안 보신 분들도 이게 얼마나 재밌는 얘기인가를 좀 느낄 수 있게 그 돈이 흐르는 내용의 케이스, 책에 나오는 케이스 하나만 좀 소개 좀 부탁드릴게요.
When I joined Bridgewater, which is now the biggest hedge fund in the world, they forced us all to sit down and take a course. The course was 1 year long, and a lot of people failed it. And in this course, they went through every single investment And they forced you to get familiar enough with that investment that you could explain it in terms of these basic building blocks and about the way a stock works, the way a bond works, the way currency works, the way real estate works, the way commodities work. And for me, this was incredibly useful because most people say, oh, put all your, well, at least in America, many people say, put all your money in the stock market. But this is terrible advice. The stock market can have huge declines. So the United States market this year, let me just look, has declined about 9% this year. It has a gigantic impact on your wealth because once your wealth starts to shrink, it makes it much harder to earn it back. So the power of Bridgewater was explaining to me how all these different assets work and how bad the losses in any individual asset could be. In the Great Depression, when my dad was a small boy, stocks lost 90% of their value. So knowing this history and knowing how these individual markets work, for me, helped me understand how risky any individual investment can be.
맞아요. 주가가 만약에 90% 빠지면 10배 올라야 원금 회복이 되는 거니까. 네. 그런데 저도 그래서 주식과 채권과 같이 뭐 대표적으로 우리가 분산 투자를 하는 그런 자산을 한번 살펴보면 옛날에는 뭐 주식이 떨어질 때 채권이 덜 떨어지고 이런 모습을 보였다면 요즘에는 또 그게 좀 달라진 것 같거든요.
채권도 같이 떨어지죠.
같이 떨어져요. 네. 특히 이제 물가 상승기 때는 기억하시겠지만 주가가 엄청 빠지면서 채권도 같이 빠져갖고 이걸 분산을 하셨던 분들도 자산의 축소를 아마 피하진 못했을 것 같고 최근도 좀 비슷한 움직임이어서 이런 상황에선 과연 분산 투자라고 하는 것을 어떻게 해야 되는 것인가에 대한 고민이 쉽지 않습니다. 어떤 시각을 갖고 계신가요?
Yeah, I think that's right. That it is a very difficult time to find safe investments now. And so you really face a choice, which is that over long periods of time, diversified portfolios will outperform cash because that's the way capitalism works. But at moments in time, cash can outperform all of those investments. Now, picking what those moments of time are very difficult. But you're completely correct that recently both stocks and long-term bonds have been losing value, which is very damaging to investor portfolios. Other assets, gold, foreign currencies, they've been gaining in value, but those are not traditional assets that people save in. I wrote the book because a lot of times people give very simple formulas. Just do this with your money. It sounds nice, but none of those simple formulas are 100% reliable. So I wanted to explain to people what I've learned about money to allow them to make their own choices. And you can see this in Korea's financial history. Korea's experienced war. It's experienced military dictatorship. It's experienced a technology boom. It's experienced a currency crisis. It's experienced international geopolitical conflict. It's experienced real estate booms and busts. So if there was an older Korean in the conversation who had seen the last 80 years of history, they would know that all these things can indeed happen because they've seen them in their own life.
근데 이게 사실 계속 말씀하시는 게 저희 한국의 그 화끈한 투자자들 입장에서는 좀 답답한 경향이 없잖아 있습니다. 이게 네. 장기 투자해라, 분산 투자해라 그러면은 뭐 시간이 뭐 얼마나 걸릴지도 잘 모르는 측면이 있어서 그런데 그리고 사실 의외로 또 기관 투자자들은 이제 주식 빚내 가지고 레버리지를 많이 그렇죠. 쓰잖아요. 네. 저희가 좀 수익률을 낮춰서 목표를 세웠다 그러면은 차라리 부채를 내 가지고 빚을 내 갖고 레버리지를 높이는 것이 낮은 수익률을 좀 보완해 줄 수 있는 측면이 있을 것 같은데 투자할 때 그 빚을 내 갖고 투자하는 것에 대해서는 좀 어떤 관점을 가져야 될까요?
It's just a tool. it's a tool like electricity. So if you use electricity well, we could have a conversation like the one we're having. But if you put your finger in the light socket, you'll die. So leverage is just a tool in investing. And I use it when I invest. But you must understand it.
빚을 어떻게 사용하는 것이 도구로 사용하는 것이다. 어떻게 사용하는 거는 진짜 그 함정에 빠져드는 것이다.
네, 그러니까 전기만 하더라도 우리가 전기를 안전하게 사용하는 방법에 대한 매뉴얼들이 있잖아요.
그렇죠.
근데 무모하게 이렇게 플러그에다가 젓가락을 꽂아 넣는다거나 그런 감전할 수도 있으니까 조금 더 구체적인 설명해 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
So I'll give you two examples. The first is when you're buying a home. Most people don't have, at least for the first home, enough cash to buy the home. So they need to borrow money to buy the home. So that is a use of leverage, and it can be good, but I think the key thing to recognize is that you don't want to take on so much leverage that if the home loses value, you all of a sudden have no money. So for instance, if you put 50% down on the home and borrow 50%, the home can fall by 25% and you still have equity in the home. But if you borrow 95% and you only have 5% equity in the home, and the home falls just 5%, you've lost all your equity. So knowing this is important. Another example is you might see a bond, a short-term bond, that is not very volatile, but you want to make it so it has the similar risk of stocks. You could add leverage to the bond, or you could add cash to the stocks to make them less risky. So it's just a tool.
근데 그 요즘에 시장 상황이 너무 불안정하다 보니까 저는 폴 포도스키님의 책을 보면서 변동성과 불확실성에 대처하는 방법이라는 부분이 되게 마음에 들었거든요. 요즘처럼 굉장한 극심한 변동성에 휘몰아치고 있는 세상에서 우리는 무엇을 해야 되느냐에 대한 폴 포도스키님의 의견을 좀 직접 한번 들어보고 싶어요.
I think volatility makes us anxious. At least it makes me anxious. When stock markets fall sharply or the currency moves sharply. So the thing for me is two things. A, mechanically understand why the stock market could fall. You know, the PE on the US, the price to earnings ratio on the US stock market right now is about 20 or 21. In a recession, it can fall to 15. So if the stock market falls 25% from here, that's normal. So A is understanding how the prices can change, and B is understanding how much they can change. It's like dealing with bad weather. Like we've all been caught in a snowstorm, but you know that snowstorms can happen. A really bad snowstorm might last 2 days, but you know that it exists. And so once your expectations adjust to how big the extreme can be, how hot it can be, how cold it can be, you could do the same thing for money. And then you understand why it's doing what it's doing. And then you're less anxious because you understand what you're dealing with.
그 작가님 계속 얘기해 주시는 게 그 안다라는 개념에 대해서 좀 계속 설명을 해 주시는 것 같아요. 이제 뭔가에 대해서 시장 상황이 밝혀졌을 때 내가 어느 정도는 알고 있어야 이게 뭐 투자를 해야도 되는 상황인지 아니면 빼야 되는 상황인지 뭐 이런 걸 판단할 수 있기 때문인가 아닌가 싶은데 사실 그 안다라는 개념에서 봤을 때 그럼 경제학자는 투자해서 돈을 버냐? 꼭 그렇지는 않잖아요. 그리고 저 같은 경우는 이제 산업 쪽의 전문 기자로 활동하고 있는데 산업 동향은 잘 맞추겠는데 투자를 잘 못하겠는 거예요. 그러면은 이게 그 안다라는 개념에서 그 성공한 투자자와 그렇지 않은 투자자를 가르는 결정적인 요소는 어떤 거라고 생각하시나요?
Imagination. So there's again, for most people, spend less than you earn, save money. That's the best thing. Don't try to time the market. But in terms of investors that are fantastic, they have imagination. and they can see a future that hasn't yet occurred. And it's rare. It's a combination of the left brain and the right brain. The left brain is analytical. Part of investing is analytical. You need to know what the bond yield is, what the PE is, what expected earnings are, what the currency is, what floors are, what options are. All that's very analytical. But the best investors are also highly creative, like a painter. And they can paint an image in their mind of what will the future look like that hasn't yet occurred. So we were talking earlier on the call about a world where the dollar is no longer the dominant currency in the world. That's a different picture.
그 책 보다 보니까 저는 되게 인상적이었던 게 이렇게 투자에 대한 어떤 지식을 얻기 위해서 책을 읽어봤는데 갑자기 사내 정치를 잘해야 된다. 라는 포인트를 써주셔가지고 이게 그 투자서적이긴 하지만 삶에 대한 얘기가 굉장히 많이 나와요. 근데 지금 그 부자가 되고 싶어하는 사람들에게 투자 전략과 함께 삶에 대한 이야기를 강조하고 계신 이유는 뭘까요?
Well, yes, because it matters. So the first part of the book, as you know, is about generating income. And most people think about this in a very dry way. Like an economist gets paid this, a trader gets paid that, a doctor gets paid this, a secretary gets paid that. But in my experience, that's not how it actually works. That once you get into an organization, you're an engineer or a doctor or you're in media, there's a whole separate game that starts about how to improve your income within the organization. And office politics matters a lot. And I didn't find anybody talked about this. But in my own life, in all the organizations I was with, office politics were critical. And so this is what I was trying to do with the book, is give real life examples of how it works. And I also wanted to make a point, like, money is really important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is doing what we're doing right now, having a conversation, spending time with people. That's more important than money. So I wanted to make sure the money book reflected that truth as well.
자, 오늘은 그 우리나라 제목으로 부의 전략 수업, 그리고 원제는 돈에 대한 불편한 진실을 쓰신 폴 포돌스키 케이트 캐피털 최고 투자 책임자와 함께 이야기를 나눠봤는데, 저도 사실 이 책을 읽으면서 이건 그냥 단순히 돈을 어떻게 벌어라에 대한 이야기가 아니라 내가 인생을 태어나서부터 죽을 때까지 살면서 나의 자산을 어떻게 관리할 것인지에 대한 좀 심도 깊은 이야기를 되게 쉽게 써주셨다라는 생각이 좀 들었었거든요. 예. 이런 부분들이 좀 많은 분들에게 삶을 살아가는 데 있어서 좀 도움이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
아, 그리고 이런 대가의 이야기를 네. 이렇게 정말 그 개인적인 이야기까지 상세하게 들을 수 있는 되게 좋은 기회인 것 같습니다.
네, 자, 그러면 오늘 함께 해주신 폴 포돌스키 작가님을 여기서 인사를 드리도록 하겠습니다. 함께 해주신 여러분 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.